What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode podcast weekly real estate tip. And today I want to talk to you about the top 3 reasons that new real estate agents fail. And according to ChatGPT, and if you see my eyes looking away, it's just because I'm reading ChatGPT. All right, the most widely cited stat. So I put in there, what is the percentage of new agents that fail out of the industry? So the most widely statistic is about 87% of new agents fail and leave the industry within the first 5 years, with the majority of those dropouts occurring in the first 1 to 2 years. So if we round up, you got roughly 90% of real estate agents that end up failing out of this industry. So if you're in class with 30 other real estate agents, by the end of 5 years, there's only 3 of you left. So today I want to do a deep dive into, okay, why that is, but more importantly, what you need to do to avoid these mistakes, to ensure that you have a long lasting career, to ensure that you hit your financial goals. Because look, we all got into this industry for a reason, and I want to make sure that you are accomplishing that reason and or reasons as to why you started this journey in the first place. And according to ChatGPT, they're like, okay, the high attrition rate is typically due to a combination of lack of consistent lead gen, inconsistent income, no clear process or system, inadequate training or mentorship, and unrealistic expectation. So what I'm going to walk you through, because I'm not going to say that I disagree with ChatGPT, but that isn't enough context. So I'm going to walk you through, okay, 20 years of being in the industry, coming to 30th top, realtor and team leader on the planet, with selling over 7,000 homes, as well as coaching and mentoring over 5,000 real estate agents from all over. What my perception is, what my belief is as to why the vast majority, if not all of these agents fail. And there could be other things, life circumstances, maybe a family member gets super sick or whatever, but for the vast majority, as to why they fail out and what you need to do to ensure that you are not a statistic. Okay, so mistake number 1 is they don't understand that this is a business. Look, yeah, you need to you got to wear your realtor hat, right? We got different hats. We got to wear our realtor hat, then we got to put on our business owner hat. But I want you to understand that this is a business. As soon as you get licensed, yes, you have a real estate license to go out there and serve and support and help people accomplish their real estate goals. And that's a part of what we do. But at the end of the day, it is he or she that is the best operator, that treats their business as a business, AKA an operator, that the best operator that at the end of the day wins. Well, what does that mean? Because again, most just jump in this thing, oh, I'm just a realtor. Look, I know a lot of great realtors. When I say great realtors, meaning that they know the contracts inside and out, they know local rules, they know local laws, they know local regulations, they know how to serve their clients. Like if they ever get a client, they know how to serve them at a high level. But I know a lot of great realtors that are broke. And then on the flip side of that, I know a lot of great operators that aren't necessarily great realtors that make a lot of money. Now, I'm not saying to do that either. I'm saying be brilliant at both, right? Be great at all the things that you can control. Be a great operator and a great realtor. So by being a great operator, what do I mean by that? Because I want to add context so this is helpful. So with a great operator, I mean, okay, you got to have extreme clarity on what you want, why you want it, why it's important to you. So what you want in the immediate, what your immediate goals are, but also what your long-term goals are. Then from there, once you have clarity on what you want, why it's important to you, now we can reverse engineer the plans so you can identify the best proven plan to get you from where you're at to where it is that you want to go. You must have a plan with precision so you know exactly every day, every week, every month, every quarter, like what you must do to make your goals a reality. One of the reasons why I see so many realtors struggle and fail in this industry, or just struggle even if they figure out a way to maintain in this industry, is they still just are winging it. They show up at the office and they have to ask themselves, like, what am I going to do today? Like, if you've done that, you've already lost that day. You need to know with precision what you must do every day, every week, every month to go out there and win. So we got to make sure that you've got that plan with precision to get you from where you're at to where you want to go. But again, the only way to do that, and that's why it starts off with clarity, of having that clarity of where you're at, where it is that you want to go in the immediate, but also long term. So that allows us to then identify the best proven plan to get you from where you're at to where it is that you want to go. Then from there, based on what your strategy plan is, you got to identify the skill sets that you must master to execute on that plan at the highest level and have the most success with that plan. And there's all these different skill sets, right? Like if I want to build my business through, one of the blessings I love about real estate is there's 1,000 ways to create success. So maybe you don't want a cold call. Maybe you do want a cold call, but maybe you don't want a cold call. Maybe you want to grow your business through YouTube and through, Instagram. Okay. YouTube's a different skill set. Instagram's a different skill set. Cold calling is a different skill set. Open house is a different skill set. So you got to make sure that you are identifying, if you want to make professional income, you got to become a professional. How do you become a professional? Is you are then identifying and adopting the skill sets that you must adopt to go out there and make those, to execute at those things at the highest level. So get clear on what you want, why you want it, why it's important to you. Got the best strategy plan to get you from where you're at to where it is what you want to go. You identify and then master the skill sets that you must master. Then from there, you got to make sure you're tracking everything in your business. Every important KPI, you got to be tracking. It's the only way to create replication in your business. Make sure that your business is continuing to grow and scale. Also shows areas of improvement. I know it's not the fun, sexy stuff, but these are the essentials that you got to do to create your business and create a successful real estate business. So you got to make sure that you're tracking the right data points inside your business because they tell you a story. And when you have that story, it allows you to know, again, what to scale up, what to eliminate, what you need to do daily, weekly, monthly, allows you to know what your conversion rates are, allows you to create that predictable, consistent growth inside your business, and allows you to eliminate that roller coasters, ups and downs that the vast majority of this business experience. Then from there, you got to then get your processes and systems dialed in. So processes is just step-by-step actions that you are doing, to go out there and execute on your strategy plan. So here's step one, here's step two, here's step three. Then we take those processes, we put them inside of systems. Systems ensure that the things are done each time the same way, ensures things don't forget, allows us to be more effective, allows us to be more efficient. That's what I mean by being a great operator. Okay, number two is that they do not understand that this is sales. And I'm not saying that you got to be like high pressure sales, or if anything, I tell you not to be, right? Especially in the era that we are in, it's the most least effective way to go out there and sell. But at the end of the day, you got to understand that we're in sales. So sales means you got to have lots of conversations. If we break down the game and just simplify this, it's get, your daily objective is get new people today aware of you that were not aware of you yesterday, offer them something of value in exchange for their contact information, stay in touch with them frequently, right? And your business continues to grow. So it's like we know in the game, it's it's getting people to know you, like you, trust you, be aware of what you do for a living, stay in touch frequently, your business continues to grow. So that's the overall game of real estate. So we got to make sure that business, especially this business, is all about conversations. You got to make sure that you're having the right conversations with the right people at the right amount, the right volume, the right frequency, to go out there and crush it. But with it being sales, you got to also understand, you got to learn to get good with rejection. You are going to get rejected exponentially more than you get accepted. Now, most people tell stories in their head of how bad this is going to go and people chewing out on the phone. And dude, very rarely does it ever happen, if ever. Yeah, right. But you're going to get a lot of no's. Oh, no, I'm not interested, not at this time. You're going to get exponentially more no's than you get yeses. We are in an industry where success is made in the minorities. And what I mean by that is, let's just say you're doing open houses and you're crushing it and you're converting at 10%. That means 90% of the people that came through your open house are never going to do business with you for whatever reason. Maybe they're just looky-loos. Maybe they already have an agent. Maybe their brother's an agent, sister's an agent. They just popped in there. Maybe they were just looky-loos. They're not ready yet. For whatever the reason may be, 90% won't do business with you. But if you're converting at 10%, you are crushing it, you are killing it. You're going to do more business than you can handle through open houses. So that's what I mean by success in the minorities. You're going to get rejected and have way more people not do business with you than do business with you. And you just got to understand that, and you got to develop that thick skin and learn to be okay with that. Now, the next point here, this really kind of piggybacks off of point 1 and 2 that I made. So I didn't add this as its own separate point because it really just piggybacks off these two. So a lot of people that I talk to, again, in this industry, while they're in class or just passing their tests, they're looking for a brokerage, I'm having a conversation with them. I'll ask them, why'd you get in the industry? And it's not often, but sometimes I'll hear things like, oh, I saw, we just bought a house, saw what my realtor did, looked easy. I could see myself doing that. I'm like, cool. Right? You saw the 10% of the fun part of this business. You didn't see the other 90% of, again, hitting the phones, getting rejected, getting told no, pounding the pavement, all those other things that we have to do. So I want you to understand that this is work. This is hard work. You're going to have to show up each and every day. Now, if you have a full-time career, and your goal is to transition full-time into real estate, okay, that's okay. It's just we can still develop the schedule and there's still going to be activities that you're going to do. It's just going to take a little bit longer. I know that's a position that a lot of new agents I work with are in, and we have a lot of success at helping them make that transition, but we got to make sure that we are focused with the time that you have and we are intentional with the time that you have. But you got to understand that success is only reserved for those that are truly committed. And what is commitment? Commitment is doing the necessary actions that you must do regardless of your emotional state. So I don't care if you're motivated, not motivated, depressed, happy, sad, not feeling good, feeling good. It's there's just going to be actions that we got to take and show up and do each and every single day. You got to have the ability to push through the boredom. There's going to be boring activities. The most successful people are the ones that can really push through that boredom, right? In any aspect of life, right? Not just business, but sports, whatever, your ability to push through the boredom, to do those, committing to those actions that you must do, even if they're not exciting, even if they're not fun. And the thing I love about real estate and why I'm so obsessed with this life-changing, amazing industry, that we're all involved in, or maybe that you're thinking of getting involved in, is It's the most level playing field I've ever seen out there. Like, it doesn't matter if you're short, tall, good looking, not good looking, thin, overweight, thick accent. Like, none of that matters. All that matters is what your commitment level is. Well, it's the most level playing field that exists out there, but it does take work, does take hard work. Like, you got to be ready and prep for that. Too many people think, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to get my real estate license. I know a lot of people, my friends, family members, are going to reach out and do business with you. Maybe there's the anomaly that happens. I've never met anybody that's happened. Right. It's taken hard work, it's taken grit. But here's the thing is, I've never seen an industry with such a low barrier to entry where it can cost you almost nothing to get involved. You're selling other people's products. You're getting paid good money for selling other people's products, meaning commissions on their houses. They own the houses, right? Where you can go from zero to hero in 6 months. You can be a loser like I was, college dropout, never making more than $10 an hour before I got into real estate, to within 6 months making more than attorneys, doctors. Like, this can happen fast. It can be game changing if you are committed to the process. Okay, so mistake number three is not picking the right brokerage and or organization. So too many people that jump in this industry are so focused on just splits or fees, or they join this brokerage because they like this person. Look, I want you to understand, and I promise you, this is not me just saying these things to try to get you to join with me and partner with me. If that's something that you want to do, I'd love to have a conversation with you about that. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I want you to avoid these mistakes because they're 1000% avoidable, right? What I want you to really be thinking about is what brokerage is setting me up for the highest level of long-term success. That's all that matters, right? Like, if you look at a brokerage exists for one reason and one reason only: to help us accomplish our real estate goals. That is it. So you need to look at the full scope. Okay, like, what is the training? What is the mentorship? What is the coaching? What are the systems? What type of support? What are all those things that they're going to provide me so I have the best environment to set me up for the most success? It's like when I first got involved in this industry, and I get so many people like, oh, Josh, like, your average realtor doesn't close their first deal for 9 months. So I closed 40 deals my first year. And I get a lot of new agents, or agents, just even seasoned agents, because I know people that have been in this business 20, 30 years that haven't been able to match that annual production. And they'll be like, well, Josh, like, how the hell did you do it? I'm like, okay, number one, I had the passion. Like, I had the fire in my belly. I was sick and tired of feeling like a loser. I was sick and tired of just my life being broke all the time. I was ready to turn my life around. So I had that fire. I had that, like, the work ethic was there. I had that fire. I was ready to make something happen in my life. But then from there, I was like, okay, I don't know what I don't know. Like, I've never sold real estate. So I'm going to go find the biggest badass that I possibly can in my market. I don't care what my splits are. I don't care what I have to pay them. I just need to have the right mentor. Right. So then from there, I combined that with the right roadmap. And yeah, did I have to pay him a lot of money? Could I went somewhere else and saved a bunch of money? For sure. But I wouldn't have created the success that I've created. I wouldn't have become the 30th top realtor in the entire country, the top 1% of realtors and team leaders worldwide, sold 7,000 homes, if it wasn't for that mentor. Man, he dialed me in, got me set up. So I had that roadmap, eliminate every element of guesswork. All I had to do was show up and execute each and every single day. Because it can take, like, why would I spend decades figuring out what to do where I can just plug into somebody that has that expertise, that has that experience, that has a vested interest in my overall growth, in my overall success? So what I want you to do is interview brokerages, right? Don't just go with the first brokerage. And understand, if you're new, sometimes it's hard because in the corporate world, we're used to being interviewed, not doing the interviewing. Here, you're doing the interviewing. Right. And really break down and assess. Don't just go off a connection or likability, because this is a business decision, right? I don't care how much you like them. They're making money off you, and that's going to feed their kids. Are they allowing you to make the money that you need to make so you can go out there and feed you and your family and hit your goals, right? So, what are the systems? What's the support? What's the training? What's the mentorship? What's the coaching? What is this ongoing, like the immediate and the ongoing, look like to ensure that you hit your goals? And here's the pressure test: is I want you to go to your broker that you're interviewing and say, here's where I'm at. Here's my 12-month goals. Here's my 5-year goals or 10-year goals. Here's my long-term goals. What is your roadmap? What is your plan to get me from where I'm at today to making sure that I accomplish these goals? And if they cannot articulate that to you clearly, if there's vagueness and if they can't articulate it to you clearly where you can see what that roadmap is in your head, that is the wrong brokerage to go with. Right. And again, I see so many make so many mistakes of, well, I just go with the, like, splits and fees matter most to me. I'm like, okay, 100% of zero is zero. Right. Like, when we take on new agents, it's like, hey, we're not the cheapest shop for brand new agents. Now, once you become a top producer and you're seasoned, then we become the most lucrative, real estate brokers. That's why we have the top individual agents, the top team leaders at our brokerage in the whole entire, US, is because, like, once you start producing, then from there, we have the splits get very lucrative. But when you're brand new, as an example, Not only do we have all of our coaching and training and certifications and provide you all the tools and systems and everything that you need to grow and explode your business, we also make sure that we align you with a local great mentor that's going to be very involved in your first three closings, first three transactions. So they're going to make sure you know how to utilize the MLS. They're going to make sure that you know how to run comps. They're going to make sure that you know how to show properties, do final walkthroughs, how to write your first three offers, how to do your listing presentations. And, they got to be certified with the organization, with the company. So they're very, very involved. Well, look, it's a 60%. You get 60%. The company gets 40% because they got to compensate the mentor on those first three transactions. So, it's a bigger split, but it's so essential. It's so necessary to set you up for success. Then after that, it's an 80-20 split, where you get 80, company gets 20% until you pay in 16,000. Then you're 100% for the rest of your anniversary year. So like for me, like let's just say it's not that difficult for an individual agent to get to the point where you're popping 3 deals a month. So then, okay, you close your first, like in my market, 6 deals. So first 2 months, I got an 80-20 split, but then those other 10 months, I'm at 100%. Right. That's where it gets very lucrative, where for team leaders and producing agents, right, like we have the best splits, that are out there, or, one of the close to the best, so you're just making sure that you are not making an emotional decision. Get your pro and con list, making sure you are identifying the best organization to set you up to succeed at the highest level. And if you want to have a conversation with me about what we offer, what we do, how we work, how we operate, and how we can support you in ensuring that you hit your goals, that you don't become a statistic, that you make this a successful long-term career, I'm going to have a link below where you can schedule 100% confidential, also 100% zero pressure. When I say zero pressure, what do I mean by that? Not going to try to recruit you, not going to push you, not going to pressure. It's just, hey, here's what we got. Here's everything that we offer. Here's all our tools, all of our support, all of our coaching, all of our training, all of our systems. Here's how we work. Here's how we operate. Here's what a recommended roadmap is for you to make sure you accomplish your goals. If you feel it's the best fit for you, great. If not, that's okay too. We can still be friends. You have my word on that. So if you would like to schedule a 100% confidential, 100% zero pressure Zoom call with me personally, click that link below. It'll be the top link inside the description or the show notes, where you can schedule that call with me. All right, so I hope this is helpful. And again, I don't want to make this, I know I kind of did, but just want to let you guys know that I'm an option out there for you, because I have a ton of success, 19 years of working with new agents and helping new agents propel inside their career. But whether it's me, whether it's anybody else, just make sure that you are not avoiding, or not, you don't make these three, mistakes, and you follow what I walked you through here today, so you can ensure that, again, that you're not a statistic, that you can go out there and crush it and kick ass inside your real estate business. I hope this was helpful. Keep crushing it, and I will see you guys next time.